And so if you're young and trying to have kids
Yeah.
and you have low T or high estrogen and you need to get treated, anastrozole is a really good treatment for that.
Okay, gotcha. So anastrozole essentially would be like a bouncer outside of the club, being like, all right, we got enough estrogen inside. You guys stay out here, and then you kind of waving the T through a little bit. Welcome to Uncomfortable Questions. I'm your host, JC Mendoza, and with me today, as always, is board-certified urologist and SVP of Men's Sexual Health here at HIMSS, Dr. Peter Stahl. Doc, how you doing?
I'm doing great, JC. How are you?
Better now that you're here. I do want to ask, why would someone take anastrozole?
Yeah, it's a great question. A couple reasons. So if you have normal testosterone, but your estrogen's too high, and you get prescribed anastrozole, if you had ED, it might get better.
Right.
So that's one, probably the only situation really where treatment with anastrozole would actually cure erectile dysfunction.
Right.
That's kind of rare.
The number one thing I want to talk about, but I'm scared to talk about, is erectile dysfunction. All right. I come from a long line of men. My grandfather was a man. His father before him was a man. And I'm sure at every point in our life, we've all suffered with erectile dysfunction. Sometimes it happens when I got a lot on my mind. Sometimes it happens when I'm sad. But what I want to ask you is that I know hormone imbalances can cause erectile dysfunction. When they say hormone imbalances, does that just mean low testosterone?
Not really, no. So yeah, testosterone is like the hormone that is most thought about, considered, and probably the most important one that is involved in male sexual function.
Yeah.
But estrogens, it turns out, are also really important for men.
Really? So men also produce estrogen. I didn't even know that. I thought men had testosterone and women had estrogen. So we both produce, men and women produce testosterone and estrogen. What is estradiol?
Okay, so I think you're trying to say estradiol.
Estradiol, that makes more sense.
Estradiol is the estrogen that we measure most commonly on blood tests. So it's when you measure someone's estradiol level, that is usually used as sort of a surrogate marker for their overall estrogen level.
Okay, got you. And is there a way to, like, can you have too much estradiol, and would that affect erectile dysfunction?
Yeah, you totally can. It's like a balance. You can have too little, you can have too much.
How do you know if you have too much or too little estradiol or estrogen?
Someone comes in with a sex problem like ED, where their sex drive's down or they're really tired. And we do some blood tests and we look at their testosterone, their estrogens, or their estradiol, and we look at the balance. Like there are lots of clinics that are really aggressive with testosterone shots for men.
For sure.
Probably a lot of people that don't need them get it, but they get really high doses of testosterone. And if they don't take something to block the conversion of testosterone to estrogen, they end up with too much estrogen and some problems. Yeah. So a lot of those clinics use a medicine called anastrozole.
Anastrozole.
We also use anastrozole, though, to raise testosterone levels in men without negatively affecting fertility, because if you give somebody testosterone, it can make them infertile. It turns out that your brain can sense how much testosterone is in your body, right? And it can like step on the gas and tell your testicles to make more testosterone or ease up on it. But interestingly, the main way the brain senses how much testosterone is in your blood is actually by sensing how much estrogen is in your blood.
Okay.
Because testosterone is converted into estrogen. And I don't know why our systems are built like that or developed like that.
Why men's brains are anyway the way
that's right.
And like you said, if the erectile dysfunction is not related to high estradiol, then would anastrozole be right for you?
Yeah, I think it's a great question. And I think it's really important to be clear. Anastrozole is not a treatment for ED for most people. Right. It's a treatment for ED that is very specifically related to an imbalance between testosterone and estrogen. And that is, a relatively rare clinical situation.
Let me ask, if the erectile dysfunctioning that me or anybody suffering from isn't because of low T or testosterone imbalance or estrogen or high estradiol, like what would be steps going forward then if it's not really, if the ED is not related to those things?
Yeah, so you get some blood tests to see if anything like that is going on with the hormonal imbalance. If you don't have it, you think about other causes of ED, like psychological stuff, blood vessel stuff, just sort of the issues that can happen with getting older. You start thinking about treatments. If there's nothing to correct, then fortunately we have good medicines to help you out. Help most people have great sex.
Well, that's good. That's good. So if it's not related to hormones, I would say like the advice that I always go with, because you're not always around, definitely talk to a healthcare provider. I know you guys don't have to listen to me about anything, but definitely listen to whatever your healthcare provider says or what Dr. Peter Stahl says, because he is number one, super, very important person here at HIMSS. But you should listen to me when I say we will be back with more uncomfortable questions. I've been JC Mendoza. This is Peter Stahl, and thank you for watching.
Great talking to you, JC.
Always a pleasure, Pete.